All right. Back again. Welcome back to Conspiracy Corner Podcast. This is Abe, your host. It is still March 11th, 2026. Obviously no update, just been playing video games, rolling cigarettes. I'm currently playing 102 Dalmatians. If you guys don't know, I have another podcast. It's called Blue Pill Podcast, which is basically anything conspiratorial, anything non-conspiracy. Don't worry, you don't have to go searching for it. It's literally anytime I put out a Blue Pill Podcast, just because where it's a smaller podcast than this, even though this is a small podcast, I just talk more conspiracies than I do everyday life. Essentially, Blue Pill Podcast is me just talking about everyday life. I have a bunch of personal, funny stories in there. Just crazy life stories that have nothing to do with conspiracy. And I also do a bunch of video game reviews on there. So, if you want to check it out, I do have a Blue Pill Podcast playlist on my main channel on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, I just put them out as episodes, But I always make sure to do the intro of hey, welcome to Blue Pill Podcast, so you know what you're getting into. I actually have had people unsubscribe, and I can tell they're new subs because I'll have a new sub, and they'll stay around and then unsubscribe when I put out a Blue Pill Podcast, and it's sorry, I just want to have normal podcast every now and then that's not talking conspiracy. But yeah, that'll be my next game I'm reviewing is 102 Dalmatians for Game Boy Color. I've been playing it in between podcasting and chilling at the house. If you would like to support the channel, it would be much appreciated. You don't have to. All my content is free. Nothing's behind a paywall. But I have a Buy Me a Coffee account set up in the link below. If you donate, I will send you a sticker. These were down to the last 3. Once these go, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do next, whether it be a trading card or a bookmark. We shall see. I'm figuring it out. So, this happened earlier this week, and yeah, it was this week. It wasn't too long ago. It's technically a little bit old news, but it is what it is. I mean, if you watched the title, you know what you're tuning into. But I wanted to talk about it. The Clintons, both of them, Bill and Hill, both got interrogated. Deposition, and I kind of wanted to talk about it. Got an article pulled up. We'll go through the article if we have some time. I did watch clips from it. I did not watch the entire thing because it's Bill's alone was 2 hours long. Hillary's probably about the same length, 2 hours long. And I have some comments. I did watch some clips, kind of highlights, and I listened to on Tinfoil Hat, couple other podcasts I listened to, but they were covering it. So I got to hear some of the questions, and dude, with Hillary, we'll talk about it later, but they went deep with Hillary. They were bringing up a famous little video with a little girl consisting of Uma Aberdeen. I did an episode way back in the day. Hang on. Sorry about that. Sammy's getting up for work. That was her alarm going off. She works during the day. I work during the night. What was it? One of my guys I used to bartend for, he said, "Oh, so you guys have a fuck you relationship?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You just pass each other through the hallway and say, fuck you, fuck you." That's about it. Anyways, so yeah, they mention a video, what I just told you about, that was going around. I seen stills from it, and I seen like a little bit of like phasey, like it was weird, like audio and video, but you couldn't really make out what it was too much. Um, but hang on. Anyways, it was in the Anthony Weiner laptop, and if you guys know what I'm talking about. But what I was saying though is when I first started this podcast, like, you ain't even got to listen to the episodes, but just like go to episode 1 and like check out the first, like, I don't know, 30 episodes. For the most part, it's not really that deep of stuff. It's all like UFO, alien shit, ghost shit, paranormal and ufology. I could have went harder in the paint right from the get-go, but I just didn't. But I did finally one day, I'm like, you know what? I gotta fucking go hard in the paint, man. Enough of this UFO alien shit. I need to just start talking about heavier shit. And I did an episode. I went a little too hard in the paint. I did an episode and I literally titled it Adrenochrome. And it was like basically reading with commentary on segments from Hunter S. Thompson's Fear and Loathing. And then getting into the frazzledrip video. And yeah, YouTube immediately took the video down. Like, immediately. I think it was either during or right after the fucking live stream. And my channel was basically shadow banned from then on. And I've still been shadow banned. I mean, I've been doing this channel for a decade. And I have like 522, sorry. 522 subscribers. It's like, yeah, there should be more on there after a decade's worth of work and content, Not that I'm bitching, I'm thankful. I'm just like, that lets you know I'm fucking shadow banned. And that's what it was, man, is that video. So yeah, here, let's just get into it. So Clinton's tangle, let me move this up. Hopefully the camera's alright, yeah. You all can look up my nose. Clinton's tangle with House Republicans and deposition videos from Epstein probe. Former president and first lady sat for extraordinary closed-door interviews with White House Oversight Committee last week. And we got the videos earlier this week because I've been watching them. I believe it was earlier this week. Can it already be last week already? I don't know. Maybe this is old news, and I apologize then, but I wanted to talk about it. NBC News is reviewing the videos, which are about 4.5 hours each. So, I heard they were 2-hour interviews, but I guess, 4.5 each. So, 9 hours worth of content. I don't know about you, but I just watched the highlights just because I don't have 9 hours on my hands. Hey, if you guys are unemployed or, this is why I would love for this channel to blow up. A lot of people trash like InfoWars and stuff for like, see, they can't, they're CIA. There's no way you can't be in the truth community and be prosperous and have money and a whole staff. And I'm thinking in my head, like, that's a stupid way to think, because I just remember watching InfoWars and he'd have like a spread of like 1 billion different articles. Like, I would love to have an entire staff of like, hey, guess what you're doing today? You're working 8 hours, right? Can you at least spend 4.5 hours and watch? You get to choose. Do you want to watch Bill Clinton's interrogation or Hillary's? And I want you to sit. I want you to watch. I want you to take notes. I want you to clip certain segments if you think it's important for the show. And then, hey, either give it to me or give it to like another person who is a podcaster or whatever. Like, I would love to have a fucking staff I could assign jobs like that. Like, spend at least half your shift, watch it, take notes, but Apparently that's bad in the truth community, that if you're prosperous and have a staff and, that, and it's like, dude, they're employing people. Like, I ain't gonna lie, dude. If you ask me right now, like, would you work for InfoWars? Yeah, I would work for InfoWars. I wouldn't work for like Ben Shapiro or something. But if Candace Owens gave me a job or InfoWars, I would work for them. You would be stupid not to. I would literally get a segment and be able to do my dream job, my American dream. But sorry about that. That's a whole nother spiel. So they're 4.5 hours each and show the former first couple tangling with, of course, it's NBC, but this is like the most in-depth article I could find on, they're saying Republican, they're focusing on Republican as if it's a right and left game. It's not. It's two wings of the same bird. We all know that. The video, which includes numerous redactions, was posted days after the Clintons sat for interviews with the GOP-led committee to answer questions about Epstein and his co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell. Which a lot of people think that she was actually the main dude. That she was Epstein's handler. And I'm not going to lie, dude, I kind of agree with that because her father was Robert Maxwell, which we all know for a fact was Mossad, who died under mysterious circumstances. He created all our textbooks in high school and shit. A lot of people don't know that one. We'll have to do a deep dive on... We're going to have to do a deep dive on Robert Maxwell in general. Actually, I'm going to write that down. Because he's just someone we need to cover, dude. He's too important of a puzzle piece. And he doesn't get spoken about well enough. And he's literally the creator of Ghislaine. Literally. And her sister, who is actually working in the FBI. A lot of people don't know that. So people go, well, why isn't the FBI doing anything? I don't know. Why don't you look into Ghislaine Maxwell's sister? Why would her sister turn in her sister and incriminate her sister even more? But anyways, a lot of people believe that Epstein, because Epstein had like apparently kind of humble beginnings, and he's not that smart of a dude. I mean, I don't know. From watching the interviews, I don't think he's the brains of the operation. I think Ghislaine is and was the brains of the operation, man. I'm just saying. And if you look at all the photos, dude, he's the one all over her like she's mommy or something, Like, I don't know. I'm just telling you. Ghislaine is the main one. Hillary Clinton answered questions under oath from the committee Thursday, and Bill Clinton answered questions Friday. In his interview, Clinton recalled a conversation he once had with Donald Trump about Epstein 20-something years ago. Of course, Trump is tied in. And look, man, the Democrats, they're going to focus on that. Trump. Because for some reason, they all got TDS. They're obsessed with Trump. I do think Trump is guilty as fuck of something. A lot of the stuff in the files was like police reports, and some of it's actually been debunked. I think the whole story of like the girl biting his wiener or whatever has been like completely debunked. Apparently, like the location wasn't even built yet where it supposedly happened, and apparently she's like one of those type of chicks that has like a horrible mental health record. Like, shit did not add up. Like 1 + 1 did not equal 2. And I'm not a Trump supporter. I despise the guy, but the way that he keeps pushing this shit off, it's like, bro, you did something. Like, there's reports of you walking in on little girls in dressing rooms and shit, but it was on his golf course, he said. He said they were playing together at a charity game, and he somehow had known I'd flown in on Jeffrey Epstein's aircraft, aka Lolita Express, Lolita, We'll do a deep dive on Lolita one day. This is why I like podcasting, because you open a can of worms. I had to write that one down and like do a deep dive on this one day. So, and he said, we had some great times together over the years, but we fell out all because of a real estate deal, Clinton testified. So that was what I've talked about it several times over the years. Him and Epstein supposedly were fighting over a property in Florida. Epstein got it. It pissed Trump off. That's when Trump turned on Epstein. Clinton told the panel that Trump never said anything to make me think he was involved with anything improper to regard Epstein either. Of course they would say that, because Trump's in power right now. Now, if Trump was not in power right now and Biden was in power, I guarantee you the Clintons would be throwing Trump under the bus. But at the end of the day, it's all pro wrestling. Don't forget that. Politics is pro wrestling, The Washington Post first reported in 2019 that Trump and Epstein's rift was related to a Florida mansion, which I just said. Trump has said that the falling out was because he thought that Epstein was a creep. Trump has not been accused of any wrongdoing by law enforcement and has denied any wrongdoing involving Epstein. To keep it short and simple, I've went over that story multiple times on this channel in older episodes. Epstein was staying at Mar-a-Lago and creeping on Trump's employees there, the female employees. And what it was, I don't even think it pissed Trump off that he was creeping on the girls, like the masseuses and stuff. He was trying to steal the girls from Trump. Literally saying, well, how much does Trump pay you? I'll pay you double that, Like, he was literally, which I don't blame Trump for stealing or for kicking him out. Like, imagine you own a bar and like I'm a bar owner and I come in and you've never seen me before and I'm just like, hey, give me a Irish car bomb, and I just slam it and like, you're like, okay, that's weird. That guy's kind of weird. And then you just walk away to your office. And next thing you know, one of the employees come in and say, hey, that dude that ordered an Irish car bomb, he's been talking to all the female servers and bartenders. He's giving them his business card and trying to steal us, You'd be like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, what are you doing? You're stealing my fucking work. Like, Bill Clinton has acknowledged having flown on Epstein's plane for Clinton Foundation travels in the early 2000s. It just blows my mind sometimes because I'm 35 years old. I was born in 91. I'm a 90s kid. But my prime and my funnest years was like early 2000s. While I was skateboarding and having fun and making out with girls in middle school, Epstein was doing this creeper shit. It's so crazy how far back this shit goes. And it goes back even further, dude. Like into the like early 90s and shit. Before Epstein was hit with criminal charges and he has denied knowledge of Epstein's crimes at the time, Hillary Clinton has said she doesn't remember ever meeting him. Oh, that's funny. Your husband flew on the plane. What was it? For some reason, I want to say like 22 times, or it might have been 9 times. I don't know. For some reason, those two numbers stick out. But he flew on the plane a shit ton of times. And you've never met this dude. Like, if my wife had a friend who she was hanging out with, if she hung out with the lady once, I would just be like, whatever, who cares? I'm not going to bother meeting her. But if my wife hung out with a friend at least like 5 or 6 times, eventually I'm going to be like, so when am I going to get to meet this person? For one, I'm a protective husband. I'm going to be like making sure it's not a dude, making sure she ain't screwing around. But 2, like, he was chilling with Epstein for years, flying on the plane at least like a billion fucking times. Not literally, but a shit ton of times flying on the fucking plane. You're not curious who the fuck this guy is, Like, let's have him over for dinner. Hillary Clinton has said, but yeah, she doesn't remember ever meeting him, but acknowledged that Maxwell which, by the way, she's in photos of literally Bill walking him and Hillary's daughter down the aisle at her wedding. You can literally see Maxwell in the background, like, and she's even poking her head around. Go look that photo up. It's fucking crazy. Who's serving 20 years in prison for sex trafficking, was just an acquaintance. Neither Clinton has been charged with any wrongdoing. Which, I'm just being straight up, I think they're guilty as fuck. I know they're guilty as fuck. In my heart of hearts. I mean, go look at the Clinton kill list. And they're just shady as fuck. I mean, Bill's been shady since he was, governor of Arkansas, flying stuff in and out, Yeah, they're shady as shit. But to play devil's advocate, like, I'm not even a, rich and famous person. I'm not an entrepreneur, but throughout my years, especially when I was bartending, acquired a shit ton of acquaintances. It's someone who, you're friendly with, you're cool with. You're not friends. You can't call them up in the middle of the night and be like, hey, pick me up. But you can kind of, everyone's cool with each other, so they'll give you discounts on your car fix up. Like, oh, JR owns a garage. I'll go down to JR's. He'll hook me up. Oh, so-and-so, he has a laundromat. Speak of the devil, we had an apartment fire years ago. Immediately, because I had a good acquaintance who owned a laundromat. He was like, dude, send all your clothes over here. I know they all smell like smoke and smoke damage. We'll clean them up. It's on the house. Shit like that. It's good to acquire acquaintances. And if you're, at their level, they have shit tons of acquaintances. But we've all seen the photos, honey. Ghislaine was not just an acquaintance. She was a friend. Bill Clinton was asked whether he believed Maxwell would receive clemency. I'm not super not super law savvy. You'll all have to fill me in what clemency is. I can't recall again. Which she's seeking. Oh, I reckon what, a pardon? Which she is seeking from Trump. He answered, I don't think I should comment on that. He then said, this was really hard for me when it came out, referring to the charges against Maxwell. We were friendly with Ghislaine. He didn't clarify whom we referred to. I'm assuming him and Hill, Hillary. He added, I was sad, but it was terrible what she did, and she should be punished. Somebody besides me should make a decision on what it is. Of course, you don't want to be the one to pull the trigger. So, like I said, it's fucking 9 hours worth of video. I just watched the highlights, but you guys got to at least do me a favor and go on YouTube and check out the highlights of Bill's interrogation. They show photos of him at the island, and he's laughing and smiling and reminiscing over it. And his lawyer literally has to pull it away, and he pulls it back to look at it more. He's thinking in his head, these are the glory days, I'm like, Jesus, bro, you're on camera. The whole world is watching, and you're smiling and reminiscing on these Epstein Island photos of you with victims. He's you can see it in his eyes. He's genuinely these were the days we lived like kings, It's fucking crazy. I couldn't help but laugh, and I wasn't laughing out of, it's funny, I'm laughing and to keep from crying, because it's this is sick, dude. This dude is genuinely a psychopath. Clinton asked by Representative Robert Garcia, a Democrat from California, whether the Oversight Committee should question Trump, said, that's for you to decide, but he did know him well. So they're trying to push it off, focus more on him. Playing the left-right paradigm, red versus blue, Crips versus Bloods. Hillary Clinton was more direct. Oh, by the way, dude, I watched mostly Bill's. I need to watch more of hers. I did see where she was asked about frazzledrip, though. That was interesting. Well, I didn't see it, but I heard it in audio because I was listening to a podcast where they were playing the audio of it. Absolutely, she said, he would be on my witness list. During her deposition, Clinton got into a testy exchange with Representative Nancy Mace, Republican, South Carolina, who asked about various pictures of her husband with other women that appeared to have been taken while he was traveling with Epstein. The photos included one in which he was getting a back massage while he was clothed and seated. That's a famous one. When you saw the photos of your husband in a hot tub, laying on a beach and getting massaged by other women, and you knew that Jeffrey Epstein was involved in some of these trips and these things, did it concern you at all? Mace asked. I'm not here to offer my opinions. I'm here to answer specific questions to the best of my ability, Hillary Clinton replied. Because, I mean, honestly, that would piss me off, dude, if I seen photos and shit like that. But I ain't gonna lie. Here's my theory with Hillary and Bill. I've said it for years. I think they were kind of an arranged marriage. They're elites. They have a purpose to serve. Now, are they an actual marriage? I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on that one. But I do think she's a fucking lesbian with Uma Aberdeen. And I think she just kind of gets, or he just kind of gets to do whatever he wants to do. I have heard stories, though, of people who have worked at, like, hotels and shit. And they said that they have actually, like, stayed in hotel rooms together. But, like, they fought like cats and dogs the entire time. So, that's all alleged. All of everything that I just said right there is alleged. But that's what I've heard from, like, about their relationship. I think she's a lesbo. I think it's a prearranged marriage. That they may have had some form of relationship, because there are old photos of them in college. I think they tried to be romantic, and then it's just like, because they actually, if you look at old photos of them in college, they actually did look like there was some form of happiness there. But I don't know. Sorry, not trying to go too deep. Asked what went through her mind when she saw the photos, Clinton answered Hillary, I am not going to speculate. You don't have any feelings about young women massaging your husband, Mace continued. I am not going to offer opinions or speculation about anything that I have no context for and was not there for, Clinton shot back. The video also shows Hillary Clinton getting irate when she found out that Representative Lauren Boebert, Republican Colorado, had shared a photo with her from the deposition that ended up on social media, which Clinton's attorney said was a violation on the agreed upon rules. I'm done with this. If you guys are going to do that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt, and from now on until the cows come home, this is just typical behavior, Clinton said. Oh, for heaven's sake, I'm done for now. So she went off, which we all know. Bill is honestly, he's more of the chill guy. Like, I obviously wouldn't want to hang out with either one because they're devils, but if I had to choose, I would hang out with Bill because I feel like he'd just be like, he's kind of dopey, kind of mellow. I feel like he would be making stupid, pervy uncle jokes, you know? She's a just straight up devil. I'm sorry, like, there is nothing likable about Hillary. I've never found her likable. She radiates with fucking demonic energy. I'm not Christian or nothing, but she radiates with that bad mojo, that bad voodoo, man. Literally voodoo. Read her emails. She fucks with voodoo, bro. The video then goes black with the words "off the record" on the screen before the session resumes an intermediate amount of time later. So, I guess we're going to wrap it up there. They get into, like I said, they ask her about Pizzagate. They ask her about, which we all knew was true back then. We knew. The mainstream was like, nah, nothing to it, you know. Do I think Pizzagate kind of went off the rails slightly? Yes. But at the core of it, it was fucking legit. They get into frazzledrip. They ask her about frazzledrip, which we discussed earlier. It's fucking crazy. I figured I'd cover it though. The Bill and Hillary Clinton interrogation about the Epstein files. They were dodging it for a minute, but they finally came in and did it. So I don't know. If you want to spend 9 hours and watch it, watch it. I would suggest to you watching, like I said, highlights. You do have to watch that one clip of Bill reminiscing and smiling and shit, though. Also, too, I wish I had channels I could shout out that I knew off the top of my head, but I've been watching a lot of body language readers who are covering this, and it's pretty interesting. Because they find signs of deceptiveness, signs of anger. Like they read body languages. Like, it's pretty cool. Go check out some of their shit if you got time. But love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe, and y'all have a good day.